Session is called to order. We have a quorum. Do we have any public comment?
No public comment.
Okay, thank you. We need a motion to approve the minutes, number 3A.
Second.
Okay, motion by Watley and second by McCutcheon. Dude, just because you're in that chair. Any? Okay, we need to vote. All in favor, say aye. Any against? Okay. Annual report number 4, review of and discussion on the 2024 annual report. Jordan Cutler, Senior Marketing Manager. Take it away, Jordan.
Good evening, everybody. I had the pleasure of working with our team to do the annual report for this year. It is a recap of, I'm going to move this. It is a recap of the economic development, tourism, and redevelopment wins for the year, projects that our team has worked really, really hard on to get executed and implemented. And so we should have given you guys some. You guys should have some on your thing, but if not, we're going to go through it and we can provide you guys with the copy. It's also available online on our Sugar Land Economic Development website. So I really encourage you guys to get a hard copy of it, use it as you guys are going out and talking about our city. The first couple of pages talk through a recap of some of the projects that our city has worked on this year in regard to capital projects, our visitor nights, and overall just a really good snapshot of the year in regard to new art installations that were produced, the sales tax that was generated for the year, and overall, just like I said, a snapshot of the year. So to quickly go through some of the projects, we're going to cover redevelopment, economic development, business development, and tourism. So I'm going to invite them up for redevelopment to talk through our Lake Point projects. Okay, cool.
Okay, so just to highlight on our Lake Point project last year, so December 2023, we made amendments to the code to create the Lake Point redevelopment district. And then in May 2024, they were actually finally approved, and we did some amendments that allowed for the on-street parking adjustments to the code, new residential, and then further just refine that code to make it more upfront and open to what the developers were going to be expected to put out there. The current status, the land is not under contract, but the landowner has initiated conversations with a broker, so they're actively trying to look for that next developer of that site and working with the city on potential incentives. And I'll switch over to John to talk about Great Home. No. Okay, just kidding. So as you guys know, Great Homes Year 2, there was 121 projects that were approved during the second year. 98 projects have been completed as the end of December 2024. We have seen over 3.8 million of residential reinvestment due to this program. So year 3 has started off really strong already, and we're excited to keep bringing back these numbers to show the great impact that it's doing in our community. All right, we'll switch over to BizDev.
Hello. In November, we approved a 3-year contract with Plug and Play to locate a Sugar Land Tech Center here. And this is really huge for us. There's a 60-mile non-compete radius, which is wonderful. And that means no one else within 60 miles can open a hub. They will be locating here in Sugar Land Town Square, and we will have a launch on March 20th. More details to come on that. And then here are some of our in the news topics. Southwest Water relocated here into Sugar Land Town Square, and they took over 40,000 square feet of office space, which was great. Then Fraser, they're the leading provider of emergency vehicles. They did a relocation from Houston to Sugar Land that created 286 jobs. And then lastly, we have Whisk, which is the air taxis that's going to change mobility here in the Houston region in Sugar Land.
Okay, so for tourism, this is a meetings and conference recap. So overall, throughout the year, we had $6.3 million in conferences, 291 room blocks that totaled in 24,000 room nights, and $3.6 million in group revenue. So excited to see this continue to grow. For Crown Festival Park, we partnered with Spectrum Concessions to do Sweet Beats and Jazz Fest, which are both returning this year. Last year, when we did the events, we saw 8,000 tickets sold, 450,000 tickets in ticket sales, which estimated into a $464,000 local spend. So excited to see those come back as well. In addition, we partnered with the Sugar Land Regional Airport and a local business, Sweetness Honeys, to produce Visit Sugar Land branded honey. So if you don't know about the partnership, they had hives located at the regional airport. We saw these honeys released in HEB, in the HEB locations in Sugar Land, and a lot of great media attention and social media about it. So this has been a sweet partnership that we are continuing to work on. And then I'll invite up our marketing, Nicole, to talk through our sweet shop and some social media projects.
Hi. So last year we opened our sweet shop, which is our e-commerce store, which happened because we closed our visitor center. So this e-commerce store, the products we had are paying homage to our history and how Sugar Land is 2 words. And we had mugs, t-shirts, journals, all with the campaign, Sugar Land, 2 words, 1 city. This hat is also available in the store. And another great win for us was social media growth. Our Visit Sugar Land social media platform saw an amazing growth because of the quality of content we share, like the opening of Trader Joe's and Little Woodrow's, as well as all the amazing things to do in Sugar Land. And notably, our Instagram account grew by 53.1% to an amazing 20,087 followers, and our other platforms saw the same pattern of growth. And this is very important for us because this is how we are creating brand awareness for Sugar Land in the digital space. Thank you.
Okay, so again, that's just a really high-level recap of the annual report. You guys should have one now. You guys can go through it and look through. Again, this is a report that we were required to do by law, so putting this together, it's a great resource. Like, once again, the online version of it is a lot more digital-friendly, so I invite you to scan the QR code on the back of the page and visit the online version. There's videos, interviews, and things like that, and once again, a great resource, so thank you.
Thank you, Jordan. Number 5, contracts and agreements. A, consideration of and action on authorization of the amended and restated Economic Development Performance Agreement with Fraser Limited. We have Nan Lee, Budget and Compliance Analyst.
Good afternoon, everyone. So today I'm gonna presenting to you an agreement to the direct incentive between SLDC and Fraser companies. So a little bit about the companies. Fraser is specializing in EMS vehicles such as mobile clinics, mobile stroke unit, and ambulance. The company is also well known for HVAC system and cost benefit solutions. The company is founded in 1982, headquartered in Houston, and they are relocating to 1410 Gillingham Lane in Sugar Lands. That is a 150,000 square feet office and flex facilities on a 10.65 acres. This location was previously occupied by Thermo Fisher. On March 2024, SLDC entered into a 10-year direct incentive agreement with Fraser's that's valued $540,000 that paid over 10 fiscal years. Fraser will bring 286 employees with an annual salaries of $71,000. They are also committing to invest $4 million in capital for the expansions to the facilities. Initially, Fraser plans to complete the expansions and obtain the certificate of occupancies by March 31st in 2025, which is also the deadline of the agreements. However, there is a delay from the contractors and the timeline for permitting and construction was affected, and the completed new date is now June 10, 2025. Besides this setback, the company is very determined to complete the expansions. They requested an extension to the deadline of December 31st, 2025 to accommodate this delay. This extension should provide enough time for them to complete the expansions, obtain the certificate of occupancy, and warranty on qualities and safety standard. So staff has reviewed and present this to the City Council Economic Development Committees, and we recommend approval to the amendment number 1 of the direct incentive agreement.
Thank you, Nan. Anybody have questions? We have a motion. Okay, is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any against? Thank you, Nan. Appreciate it. Number 6, budget. A, consideration of and action on authorization of a budget amendment to expenditures in the amount of $659,106 for the Smart Financial Center debt service payments and $147,000 for Director of Special Projects position costs. Justin Mejorado. Hi, Justin.
Thank you, sir. How are you doing? Good afternoon, members of the board. So this afternoon, I have a quick presentation for you requesting this budget amendment for 2 strategic decisions that staff would like to take forward starting in FY25. The first relates to one of the debt issues that was issued back in 2014 to fund the project costs with the Smart Financial Center. In 2014, between 3 different issues, a total of roughly $77.6 million was issued. Of this amount, roughly $11 million was structured through a 25-year certificates of obligation that was planned to be repaid via hotel occupancy taxes. This $11 million in funding supported $8 million in the construction cost of the entertainment venue, as well as $3 million to the adjacent plaza and parking area. For fiscal year 25 and as part of future budgets, staff would like to shift the remaining debt service payments for this issue to be paid from the Sugar Land Development Corporation instead of hotel occupancy taxes. So the purpose of shifting this is to free up the hotel occupancy tax revenues, which are restricted by use, and utilize an alternative self-supporting source such as the Type A sales tax and the SLDC to finish out the debt service payments, allowing for our tourism staff to focus on investment in new projects that would be strictly HOT funded, expansion of our tourism program, and adaptive reuse initiatives. So here looking at that debt schedule since it was initially issued, since issuance back in FY15, a total of $6.5 million has been paid by hotel occupancy taxes as of the end of fiscal year 24. With this proposed strategic change, we would see roughly the remaining 10.22 in outstanding debt service shifted to the SLDC across the forecast, which is roughly about $650,000 in debt service annually. The second item on the agenda that we're requesting the budget amendment for is to add the position of Director of Special Projects to our list of personnel that is eligible for salary reimbursement by the SLDC. This position is currently filled by Lauren Fair. She also serves as one of the city's chief trailblazers and supports the city's stimulating economic growth strategic focus area, which directly impacts the success of our primary employers. And so we're requesting to have her position costs reimbursed by SLDC for fiscal year 25, which this amendment covers, and for future consideration in upcoming annual budget processes. Looking at our financial impact to fiscal year 25, the total between these two costs are roughly an additional $800,000 in expenditures, with our estimated revenues in FY25 of just under $10.6 million. We're anticipated to draw some fund balance down by $5.4 million. However, our ending fund balance of $17.79 is still a massive $16.48 million above the policy requirement, which is based on 15% of our budgeted sales tax revenue for the year. These changes do not affect our bond coverage ratio, which remains strong at 2.4 times coverage. And with that, I'll open the floor for any questions.
Questions? Okay, any discussion? No? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any against? Okay, thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Number 7, resolutions. A, consideration of an action on Sugar Land Development Corporation Resolution Number SLDC R2501, resolution of the Board of Directors of the Sugar Land Development Corporation approving project funding for pre-development studies, engineering, environmental assessment, survey and other services and construction costs related to acquisition and infrastructure of the Imperial Historic District and adjacent properties necessary to promote or develop new or expanded business enterprises. And we have Devin Rodriguez,
Mr.
Director of Redevelopment.
I'm sorry, just so the record notes, Councilmember Kamali has recused himself.
Okay, thank you. Devin?
Good afternoon. So I do not have a presentation. I was just going to walk through what this resolution is and kind of give some of the background and context that we included in the agenda item. So on Friday, the city announced that we are pursuing acquisition of the Imperial Historic District. Redevelopment of that area has been City Council's #1 priority. And so as part of moving forward with the acquisition procedures, there are some initial costs that this funding resolution, we're asking for that funding in order to do some of these pre-development assessments, surveys, those types of things towards those acquisition activities. There is a item on the city council agenda tonight related to a certificate of obligation that is for the larger project, but that is just a notice of intent, and those funds, if approved, are not expected to arrive until mid-May timeframe. So this funding resolution would allow us some funding in the interim so that we can do some of the due diligence related to our acquisition activities. Very similar to some of the activities that we were also doing, that we own that intellectual property when we had the Puma agreement. So we have some of those already. And so this is just any additional due diligence that we need to do in the interim of this acquisition period. So with that, I'll just answer any questions that you might have.
I'm sorry, there's a number?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a do not exceed for $1 million.
Okay.
And this would be coming from the SLDC Reserve for Opportunity. And then the remaining balance in that Reserve for Opportunity is 3.5 million. So this would bring it down to 2.5 for this fiscal year.
Could you talk a little bit more about the environmental assessments that are planned? And I mean, have environmental assessments already been done by the current owner, or is this all be new?
So this is really, once we negotiate some of those things, are there any additional environmental assessments that we would want to do? We're going to take that advice from our consultants, and if there's anything additional that we do want to do. So I don't have any additional details beyond that, and this is just sort of that up to amount in terms of beginning some of these acquisition activities.
Second.
Did you want to add the up to $1 million in your motion, because it's not in the.
It's not in the
It's not in the resolution.
resolution.
Yeah. I'll add the motion to approve up to $1 million.
Okay, and then who seconded it? Okay, Carol. All right.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any against? Thank you, Devin. Okay, would anybody like to motion to adjournment?
Yes, motion to adjourn.
All right, we're adjourned. Thank you all very